We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many countries with 5-letter names as they could. Richard, can you be more specific?
Yeah, I need you to pay very, very close attention. I need you to give me countries, and they've got to have 5 letters in their name. By countries, as always, we mean UN members, which are sovereign states. And those names have to be the English names of those countries, so the names we give them. There are 26 of them.
Thank you very much, Richard. So, Tori, what could be simpler? Countries with 5-letter names.
I can only think of 2, and they're not obscure. I'm going to say India.
India. A little country. But undoubtedly a country with 5 letters in its name. Let's see how many of our 100 people said India. It's a correct answer. Not bad. Not bad at all. Look at that. Wow! Astonishingly, that means only 16 of our 100 people said India. That gives you a respectable low score of 16. On to our next pair. Craig, a country with a 5-letter name. Really obscure one.
I'm not sure if it's a country, but I'd say Kenya.
Kenya. Very good. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Kenya. It's good. Down it comes. It's a good answer. Look at that. 2. On to our next pair. Ian, a country of 5 letters.
I think I'm going to go for Ghana.
Let's see how many of our 100 people said Ghana. It's a correct answer. It's going to be another good one, I think. Down it goes. Very good. That means only 9 of our 100 people said Ghana. And finally, David, a country with 5 letters in its name.
I'm going to have to go for the one that I think has got the least amount of people. I'm going to have to go for Japan.
Let's see how many of our 100 people said Japan. It's the right answer. Not bad. That means 22 of our 100 people said Japan. Well, we are halfway through the round. Let's have a look at the scoreboard. Darren and Craig did fantastically well there with a lovely low score of 2. Neil and David, 22 is not a bad score, but the others have been so low. You're going to have to try and score as low as you possibly can, Neil, on the next pass. OK, we're going to come back down the line. Will the second players please take their places at the podium? Neil, we are looking for countries with 5-letter names. A really nice obscure one.
Well, unfortunately, Craig got the one that I was first thinking of. So we'll try, I hope it's a country, Libya.
Let's see how many of our 100 people said Libya. It's correct. It's good. It's very good. That means only 4 of our 100 people said Libya. That brings your total up to 26. Well done there, Neil. On to our next pair. Brian, you are currently on 9. To avoid overtaking Neil and David on 26, you want to score 16 or less with this answer. What are you going to give me? 5-letter named country.
I'm going to go for Chile.
There is your red line. It's a low red line because everyone is scoring low. If you are below that red line, you are through to the next round. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Chile. It's correct. Is it low enough? Yes, it is. Just. That means that 15 of our 100 people said Chile. That gives you a total of 24 and means you are definitely through to the next round. On to our next pair. Darren, you are currently on 2. To avoid overtaking Neil and David on 26, you have to give me an answer that scores you 23 or less. We are looking for countries with 5-letter names.
And I have to say China.
There's your red line. If you are below that red line, you are through to the next round. Let's see how many of our 100 people said China. Oh! That means 28 of our 100 people said China. That takes your score up to 30. You are now the high scorers. Great news for Neil and David there. You are now through to the next round. Nia and Tori, you've got it all to play for in this question. You are currently on 16, Nia. You have to score 13 or less to get through to the next round. We are looking for countries with 5-letter names.
I'm going to say Samoa.
Here's your red line. It's very low. If you get below that red line, you are definitely through to the next round. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Samoa. It's good. Down it comes. Oh, and you're on. That's correct. That means only one person out of our 100 people said Samoa. That takes your total up to 17. At the end of round 2, the losing pair with the highest score is Darren and Craig.
Oh, well.
Enjoyed.
Well, you did
Minimum
very
points
well.
anyway, so.
Well, you've done very well indeed. Richard, what answers should they have gone for?
Well, you couldn't have done a lot better than Nia with Samoa, which got 1 point. But there were 4 pointless answers. If we take a look at them, there'll be some people shouting these at the screen at home. Qatar, Palau, which is in the northern Pacific, and Nauru, which, God bless, is only 8 square miles and doesn't even have a capital. So, poor old Nauru. There are a lot of countries got 1, actually. If you've got any of these at home, well done. Yemen, Syria, Sudan, Samoa, Niger, Gabon, all of those were 1 point. But let's take a look at the most obvious answers. The third most obvious, Darren gave us, which is China. Now, Darren and Craig have been brilliant contestants. Just before you go, do you want to have a go at the 2 most obvious 5-letter countries?
Italy.
Italy is up there. Italy's number 2. And the worst answer of all?
Spain.
Spain. Well done. They're the 3 worst answers.
Thanks, Rich. Darren and Craig, that was your second and final chance on the show. I'm afraid you just didn't have that pointless 5-letter country knowledge you needed to get through. So I'm afraid we have to say goodbye, but thanks so much for playing.
Thank you very much.
And the question is, countries and their neighbours. Countries and their neighbours. In this round, we're about to show you the names of some places. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to tell us the only country that they share a land border with. Richard.
Yeah, we're going to show you 6 places on both passes. The more obscure ones, those are going to score you the fewest points, but be careful. If you give us an incorrect answer, you'll score 100 points.
OK, thanks very much, Richard. Your first 6 are UK, Canada, Haiti, Qatar, Vatican City, Brunei. Let me read those one more time. UK, Canada, Haiti, Qatar, Vatican City, Brunei. OK, so we are looking for the countries that border these places.
Well, the ones I don't know, I really have no idea at all. So I'm going to have to go for one that is fairly safe. So I'm going to say Italy as a neighbour for Vatican City.
OK, Italy, Vatican City, you're going to go for. Let's hope not too many people said that. Let's see if it's correct. If it is, let's see how many people knew that answer, Italy. It's the right answer. 56. So, Italy, Richard.
Yeah, of course, the Vatican City, the world's smallest independent state, entirely encircled by Italy. So, very good answer.
OK, now, Steve, number 1. How are these borders looking to you?
There's 2 that are fairly safe. The other 3, I've got an idea. I'm going to go for Haiti, and I believe that shares a border with the Dominican Republic.
Haiti, Dominican Republic. OK, so we are looking for the countries that border these places. OK, let's see if that's correct. And if it is, let's see how many people knew that answer. Haiti, Dominican Republic. That's right. Still going down. 15. Good answer, Steve. That scores you 15. Richard.
Yeah, well played, Steve. Haiti and the Dominican Republic share the Caribbean island of Hispaniola.
OK, thanks very much. Now then, Sophie. Sophie, you're the last person to have this board, so feel free to talk us through it.
Well, I think UK and Canada are going to be fairly high scoring. Qatar, I haven't got a clue, but I think Brunei is Papua New Guinea, and I'm fairly reckless, so I'm going to go with that.
OK, you think Brunei is Papua New Guinea.
Yes.
Paul just pulled a face I think only his dentist will have seen before.
Oh, no. Oh, well.
Only my mother could love, yeah.
Sorry, love.
Right. You're going to say Brunei, the Sultanate of Brunei, is bordered by Papua New Guinea. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people knew that answer. Unfortunately, Papua New Guinea is an incorrect answer, which means you score the maximum of 100 points. Richard.
Yeah, sorry, Sophie. Let's take a look at where it does share a border with. We can go through the board now. Actually, an enclave of Malaysia. Malaysia, and would have scored you 3 points. That would have been an incredibly good answer. There's a couple of big answers there. Actually, the biggest answer is Canada, which obviously shares a border with the United States, nearly 9,000 kilometres of it. Would have scored you 71 points. So the UK shares a border with Ireland. What score do you think that would get you?
That would be, well, probably quite a low score.
That's right, would have scored you 38 points. 38 points would have been a very, very good answer. And Qatar shares a border with...
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia, exactly right. Would have scored you 4 points, so very well done if you got that at home.
OK, let's take a look at the scores, see how they are at this stage. Well, Paul and Sophie, way ahead there. I'm afraid Papua New Guinea scored you high there. Paul, you know what you've got to do in the next pass. Steve won. What a great answer there. Fantastic. Haiti, Dominican Republic, scored you only 15. Lovely low score there. Steve, 2. Keep that up. You should be through to the head-to-head. Graham and Valerie, 56. You're almost exactly in the middle there. So, Valerie, answer sensibly, and you should make it through to the head-to-head. But anything could happen. Right, we're going to come back down the line. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? Here are your next 6 places. Portugal, Denmark, Papua New Guinea, South Korea, Monaco, Lesotho. I'm going to read those again. Portugal, Denmark, Papua New Guinea, South Korea, Monaco, Lesotho. OK, so we are looking for the countries that border these places, and you are trying to find the one that the fewest of our 100 people knew. All right, Paul, you are out ahead there on 100 points. You've got to find a really nice... I mean, I can think of one rather poetic one you could pick there.
And I'm going to pick it, yes.
You know the answer?
I think so, yes. Well, Papua New Guinea shares the island of Irian Jaya, I believe, with Indonesia.
That sounds like it's going to be right. Let's see if it is right, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. No red line for you, of course, as you are the high scorers. It's right. Very good answer, Paul. That scores you 3, and it takes your score total up to 103. Richard.
Yeah, very good answer, Paul. You might have got yourself back in the game there. It's only about 150 kilometres from Australia, Papua New Guinea, but yeah, shares a border with Indonesia.
Thanks very much, Richard. Steve, number 2. You are on 15. If you can score 87 or less with this answer, 87 or less, you are through to the head-to-head.
Well, obviously, the top easy one staring me in the face again is the safety option. Portugal, Spain.
Portugal, Spain, you are saying. Here is your red line. If Portugal, Spain gets you below that red line, you are through to the head-to-head. OK, let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said Portugal, Spain. It's right, and it's good enough. Very, very well done. That scores you 66, takes your total up to 81. You are the first pair definitely in the head-to-head. Richard.
Yeah, again, another fairly low score, I would have thought. Portugal and Spain, you think would be a fairly well-known one.
You'd have thought.
Apparently not.
Apparently not. OK, so we are looking for the countries that border these places. OK, now, Valerie, it's all in your hands. You are on 56. If you can score 46 or less with this answer, you are through to the head-to-head and a chance to play for that massive jackpot.
Oh, dear. I'm going to have to go for Denmark, I think. And hope that it's bordering Holland.
You're going to say Denmark and hope that it's bordering Holland. And that's a punt, is it?
Yeah.
There's your red line. If Denmark borders Holland and it gets below that red line, it will see you through to the head-to-head. Let's see if it's right. Denmark, Holland. Ooh, well, There's a lifeline for Paul and Sophie. Bad luck, Valerie. I'm afraid that is an incorrect answer, and it scores you the maximum of 100 points, taking your total up to 156. Richard.
Yeah, sorry, Valerie. It doesn't share a border with Holland. It shares a border with Germany. But it would have scored you 20 points and would have seen you safely through. Let's take a look at the other ones. South Korea borders.
North Korea.
North Korea, the most heavily fortified border in the world. Again, it would have only scored 52 points. Monaco borders.
France.
France would have scored you 42 points. And Lesotho.
South Africa.
It does border South Africa, yeah. It would have scored you 5 points, so well done if you got that at home.
OK, thanks, Richard. So at the end of round 2, the losing pair with the highest score is Graham and Valerie.
Sausages.
That was amazing, the pair of you. That synchronised sign. Did you see that?
Yeah, it was good. It was very impressive. It's a fitting way to mark the 100th show.
It really is. OK, Graham and Valerie, it's been fabulous having you on the show. Sadly, your knowledge of geographical borders was shocking. I suspect, though, there is a hinterland of Graham and Valerie type general knowledge that we haven't even broached. And when we see you next time, you are going to dazzle us and go all the way through to the final. But thanks for now for being excellent contestants. Thank you. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many countries that are healthier than the United States as they could. Richard.
Yeah, in 2019, Bloomberg published a report. It's based on UN data and World Health Organization data and various other things about the healthiest countries in the world based on life expectancy, diet, all sorts of things. The USA was 35th on that list. We're looking for any 34 nations who are higher up in that list, please.
Simple as that. We're just looking for any country that is healthier than the United States of America. Neil.
I'll go Sweden.
Of course. How healthy must they be? Let's see how many of our 100 people said Sweden. Let's see if it's right. It is right. 57. 57 for Sweden.
The 6th healthiest nation in the world, the Swedes.
Doesn't surprise me.
It's not shocking, is it?
It's not shocking at all.
I don't know what that's due to.
I don't know, just Swedish mentality.
Swedish mentality,
just
regular trips to IKEA.
Exactly. Yeah.
Other shops are available.
Yeah. Eve, have you come up with an answer?
I am going to say Denmark.
Denmark. Sticking with Scandinavia. OK, let's see if that's right. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Denmark. It's right. 57 is the only score we have at the moment, and you pass it. Down we go to 35 with Denmark. Well done, Eve.
They're planning that Copenhagen, the entire city, will be carbon neutral by 2025.
2025?
That's pretty soon, isn't it?
That's yeah. How are they getting on there?
Yeah, they're doing very well, the Danes.
Thank you very much indeed. Richard, now, Izzy.
Yes. There's a lot going round in my head, but not necessarily. I'm going to go for Portugal.
Portugal?
Yeah.
What are you thinking of, Izzy? What's the factor that's deciding it for Portugal?
I was tended to want to stay away from the Scandinavian countries because they do eat a lot of fish, but then, you know,
Portugal.
I don't know. Yeah, Portuguese might very well do that as well.
Do you know, no, I'm completely with you. Let's find out. Is Portugal on that list? And if it is, how many of our 100 people said Portugal? It's right. 57 is the high score, 35 is the low. You pass both of them, 21. There we are, Izzy.
Yeah, 22nd on that list.
Thank you. We are halfway through our second round. Let's have a look at those scores. 21, Izzy, very well done. Best score of the past, then up to 35, where we find Eve and Chris, then up to 57, where we find Neil and Charlie. Oh, Neil, the high scorer this time. Oh, things have changed. Charlie, think laterally, see if you can find an answer on that list, but perhaps is one our 100 people couldn't think of. Good luck with that. We're going to come back down the line now. Will the second players please step up to the podium? Meredith, we are looking for any country that is healthier than the United States.
Okay. I'm going to say China.
China. OK. You're on 21. You want to be scoring 35 or less. There's your red line. Can you get below that with China? I'm sorry, Meredith. I'm afraid that's an incorrect answer. Scores you 100 points, takes your total up to 121.
Yeah, they're 52nd on the list, China. I mean, their healthcare is free over there, but my daughter lives over there, and genuinely the smog is extraordinary. In the cities, at the very least. So I think that's their big issue.
OK, thank you very much indeed. Now, Chris. Chris, you're on 35. 85 or less gets you into the next round.
Oh, OK. I think I will go for the Netherlands.
The Netherlands, says Chris. OK, here is your red line, nice and high. Can you get below that with the Netherlands? Let's find out. $25 takes your total up to 60.
The Netherlands are 15th on that list.
Thank you very much, Richard. Now then, Charlie. Charlie, you're on 57. 63 or less gets you into the head-to-head.
I'm going to go for Poland.
Poland. OK, anything in particular that makes you think the Polish...
I've got a Polish colleague, and she always brings in these weird cream cheese health drinks.
Cream cheese health drinks.
I know.
Those are
They're
four
as bad as
words
they sound.
I have never heard in that assembly. That's amazing. Can you get me one? I'd love a cream cheese health drink. No. Wow. There you are. There's your red line. Can you get below that with Poland? Let's find out. No, I'm afraid. The clue was in cream cheese health drinks, surely. That scores you 100 points, takes your total up to 157. I'm so sorry, Charlie.
Yeah, they're 40th on the list, Poland, mainly due to the cream cheese health drink scandal of the late 90s. Now, the UK were 19th on that list. That's OK.
It's all right.
Yeah, it could be worse,
better,
though.
I suppose, yes.
We're never going to be as high as the Scandinavians and all that.
No.
They win all of these things. Happiest place, healthiest place, all that. Shall I tell you, before we look at pointless answers, I'll tell you the 5 healthiest countries in the world, shall I? I'll tell you the first few, and then I'm going to make you guess the first one. Now, 5th is Switzerland. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Even with all the chocolate and the cheese. Yeah, they're climbing up mountains all the time.
Yes, all the time.
Yeah, chocolate cheese mountains. If you're Swiss, I apologise. I know. There's more to you than that. Although, why did you change the Toblerones? Anyway. 4th, Japan. Is very long-lived.
Yeah.
Okay, which we hear a lot of. We know their diet and all sorts of things. 3rd, Iceland. Always do well on these things. 2nd, Italy.
Yes, olive oil.
Yes, I suppose so. Yeah. You know, healthy food and what have you. And the healthiest country in the world, I was quite surprised by this.
Greece? It's in Europe, I'm going to guess. Yes. Yeah. OK. Where do we think?
Greece?
Spain? Finland?
Someone said it, not Finland.
Greece?
Not Greece.
Not Greece. No, it wouldn't be... Spain.
Spain. That's #1, yeah.
Good for them.
Thought, would you? Yeah.
Good for this. That's nice.
That's good, isn't it?
Oh, I'm pleased.
There's no pointless answers at all. But you just scored 3 for Chile, 2 for Czechia. You just scored 2 for Slovenia as well. And the best answers you could have given is 4 one-point answers. And they are Costa Rica, Cuba, healthy in the United States, Cyprus, and Estonia. Those are the best answers you could have given. France, Sweden, and Italy were the highest scorers there.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Well, we've all learnt a lot there.
Our first category this afternoon is Eurovision. See what you're saying. Eurovision. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many Eurovision Song Contest host towns and cities as they could. Richard.
Yeah, we're just looking for any of the 38 towns or cities that have hosted a Eurovision Song Contest up to the 2010 contest.
OK, thank you very much. Right, Claire and Lee, you all drew lots before the show, and today you get to go first. Claire, what's the most obscure Eurovision host town or city you can think of? Can you think of any?
I can, but I don't know if it's right.
So I'm going to go...
It's not right, it's Eurovision.
Not. Well,
There's
yeah.
never right.
I'm going to go for Budapest.
You're hoping to score as few points as possible. Let's see if Budapest is correct. And if it is, let's see how many people said it. Budapest. Oh, no! I'm afraid Budapest is an incorrect answer, which means you score the maximum of 100 points. Richard, Budapest.
Yeah, unlucky, Claire. All I can tell you is it hasn't hosted a Eurovision Song Contest. That's all I've got.
Well, bad luck, Claire, but I'd like to think an honourable mistake. Ellie, the Eurovision Song Contest. Are you a devout fan?
I haven't watched it since probably Cliff Richard was in it, if he was. So I've not watched it
But
for
that
years.
might qualify you to give the most fantastic, obscure answer.
No. So I'm going to guess Stockholm.
Stockholm. You're hoping to score as few points as possible with Stockholm. Let's see if it's correct, and if it is, let's see how many people said Stockholm. It's right. Well, you're below 15. Down it goes. Look at that. 14. Very, very well done, Ellie. Were you thinking ABBA?
Yes.
Was that your route to Stockholm?
I was thinking that as they won it once, that it possibly went back to Sweden.
It seems perfectly reasonable. Well, it scored you 14 points. Let's find out. Richard.
Yeah, well done, Ellie. They've actually hosted it twice in Stockholm, in 1975 and 2000.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Richard. OK, Julie, we are looking for host towns and cities of the Eurovision Song Contest.
Gosh, I'm going to say... What if I pronounce it a bit wrong? Does that matter?
We'll all have a bit of a laugh.
I'm going
to
say... Reykjavik.
Reykjavik. Is that a complete guess?
Yeah.
I think it's a brilliant guess. If it's wrong, it's still a brilliant guess. You're hoping to score as few points as possible. You're hoping that nobody said Reykjavik, and you're hoping it's correct. Let's see if it is Reykjavik. Oh, no! What is it? Every time I say it's a brilliant answer, it's wrong. It's likely, though. It's just the sort of place they go to.
It does sound likely, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Yeah. It's not, but it does. It really does sound it.
Well, that's fantastic news for Claire and Lee. They are now joined on the high watermark of 100 points. But I'm afraid it is an incorrect answer, so yes, you do score that maximum of 100 points. Now, Paul, this is the moment where you dazzle us.
There's one I want to go for, and I'm going to regret this. I'm going to be washing up for 2 weeks.
You can. There are 200 points.
I know that I'm going to regret this as soon as I say it, but Brighton. I believe Brighton has hosted it.
You're hoping it's correct, and you're hoping hardly anyone said it. Let's see if it is correct. Brighton. It's correct, Paul. I think this could go quite a long way down. Maybe it'll go all the way down. Who knows? 5! That's a spectacular answer, Paul. Very well done. Scores you 5 points. Richard.
Yeah, very well played, Paul. Very good start to the show. Yeah, it's when ABBA won with Waterloo. They won in Brighton.
Waterloo? Is that how you say it?
Waterloo?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you say it?
Like Portaloo. I say Waterloo.
Do you?
I mean, not with the
you mean like
girly high bit.
Like Portaloo?
No, I say Waterloo. That's where I choose to put my stress there. Waterloo on the third syllable.
Think about the chorus. They put it where I put it.
Oh, I see, in the song.
Yeah.
Well, they're there, but they're from Sweden. What do they know? OK, we're halfway through the round, so let's take a look at the scores as they stand. Well now, Paul, wonderful answer. Brighton there. Very, very good, 5 points. Then we come to Ellie and Rick, 14, another beautiful low score there. Then we have Claire and Lee, 100 points. You would have been way out ahead had Julie and Nana not come riding to your rescue with their fabulous answer of Reykjavik, which was spectacularly incorrect. OK, we're going to come back down the line. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? So, Tom, we are looking for host cities of the Eurovision Song Contest. Do you watch the Eurovision Song Contest ever?
I think I've watched it one time.
Yes. Do you remember where it was from?
No.
So are you going to be taking a massive guess here, or do
Well, actually, I think there is quite a safe answer, which is one I really should say, because we have two teams on 100 points. But in the back of my mind, there's a voice saying I should say something a little bit more obscure.
I'd say go for it, Tom.
Alexander, I'm going to say Kiev.
Kiev, you're going to say? OK, well, let's see if it's right. There is your red line there, beautifully high red line. If you come below that, you are definitely through to the next round. Let's see if Kiev is correct. And if it is, let's see how many people said it. Oh, well done, Tom. Brilliant. Down it comes. Might it be pointless? Might it be pointless? Ah, all but. Very, very, very well done indeed. That scores you 1 point and takes your score up to 6. Brilliant.
Yeah, very well played. Kiev hosted it in 2005.
That's a brilliant answer. Very, very good, very well reasoned and deservedly low scoring. You are through to the next round. Now, this is the real contest. What are you thinking, Nana?
Eurovision is not something I really watch, but,
but
I have watched it 1 year. OK, we're here, I might as well just take a punt, so I'm going to go for Tel Aviv.
Go on, Cal.
You're going to go for Tel Aviv?
Yes.
You don't have a red line because you are the high scorers. Let's see. Oh, bad luck! Unfortunately, Tel Aviv is an incorrect answer, which means you score 100 points. Takes your total up to 200, our first 200-point score of this series. Richard?
I think Tel Aviv and Reykjavik to score 200 points with that is extremely unlucky. I genuinely, I do. I think that's both very good answers. But there it is. They didn't hold it in Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv's loss and, more pertinently, Nana and Julie's, I'm afraid. Well, Rick and Ellie, you're in the clear. Rick, is that a massive relief for you?
Yes, it is.
You can afford to find a pointless answer. I think you can really have some fun here.
I don't think my knowledge of Eurovision sort of extends that far, but I seem to recall back in the sort of 70s or 80s, Ireland won it on several occasions. So I'm going to say Dublin.
OK, well, you're on 14. Doesn't matter what you score here, you are definitely through to the next round. Let's see how many people said Dublin, and if it's a correct answer, Dublin. It's right. 40 points. Not a bad answer at all. That takes your total up to 54. So, Richard, Dublin.
Yeah, Dublin. It's actually hosted it 6 times, Dublin.
Wow. OK, we were looking for Eurovision host towns or cities. Now then, Lee, you might have been helped out of a hole by Nana, or maybe not. You have carte blanche to guess, as long as you get it correct. Isn't that right, Claire?
It is, yeah.
As long as you get it right. Get it right.
Well, I will stick with the German theme and go for Hamburg, then.
You're going to go for Hamburg?
I am, yeah.
If you can get 99 or less with this answer, you are through to the next round. Okay. Hamburg sounds entirely reasonable to me. Let's see if it's correct. Let's see how many people said Hamburg. Bad luck. Hamburg. An incorrect answer, which means we see our second 200-point score of the series. OK, it's a tie. It's very exciting. The tied pairs have to give one more answer each. Your scores are reset to 0, and the pair that gets the lowest score will win. And you can now confer. All right, Claire and Lee, it's you to go first. We are looking for host cities of the Eurovision Song Contest. Let's have a correct answer. For the love of music.
We're going to go for Istanbul.
Istanbul. OK, let's see if it's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said it. Istanbul. It's right! It's right. It's not only right, it's scoring quite nice and low. Look at that. From the ridiculous to the sublime, that is a pointless answer. It scores you nothing. It's correct. And moreover, we will add £250 to today's jackpot, taking the total up to £11,250. Very, very, very well done. Richard, do you want to chuck in anything on Istanbul?
Yeah, they hosted the contest in 2004, Istanbul. Very well done. Beat that.
No pressure.
Now then, Nana and Julie, listen. You've matched each other point for point so far in the game. Let's have a pointless answer from you and add another 250 quid to the jackpot. What are you going to go for? You can
we
talk
had a
out
couple
loud.
of safe answers, but we've thrown that out the window now, and we're going to go for Riga.
You're going to go for Riga?
Yes.
Oh, Riga. Now you come out with Riga.
Yes.
Right, well, let's see if Riga is correct, and if it is, let's see if it is pointless. That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? Riga. It's right! OK, this has to be pointless for you to stay in the game. It has to be pointless. Oh, no! That's a brilliant answer. Riga. I mean, you wait until the tiebreak to come up with the second best answer in the whole round. But there we are. Scores you 2. Richard.
Oh, that's really tough luck. They hosted it in 2003. Unfortunately, a couple of people remembered it. And earlier on, when you said Tel Aviv, which I have to say I thought was right, it's Jerusalem is...
That's what I was thinking of.
But there were a whole bunch of pointless answers out there. There's actually one, not a million miles from Claire and Lee, in Harrogate. Harrogate would have been a pointless answer. They held it there.
Harrogate?
Harrogate, yeah.
Who, in the name of music, for the love of music, nominated Harrogate? I mean, it's a beautiful place, Harrogate, but Eurovision, Harrogate, Eurovision, Harrogate. All I'm saying.
Let's take a look at some of the other pointless answers up there as well. Well done if you've got any of these. Lugano in Switzerland, Frankfurt, Cannes has held it a couple of times, Naples, Edinburgh, and Mill Street, which is in Ireland. Mill Street held it. There's Istanbul, which we just heard, that just got you through to the next round. Zagreb and Hilversum, which is in Holland. That's very, very tough luck, very exciting round.
Thanks very much, Richard. So at the end of round 1, the losing pair with the highest score, I'm so sorry, Nana and Julie, with a fabulous answer, Riga there.
I should have been braver. I was thinking about it, but I wasn't sure if it was right or not, so... And I thought of Jerusalem as well. So annoying.
And Dublin, I did.
Yes.
Oh,
well.
bad luck, bad luck. Well, you played very well. You know, it's your first shot at Pointless. Next time, because, of course, everyone gets a second chance to reach the Pointless final, you will know exactly what to do. It's been lovely having you on the show. I'm sorry we say goodbye so early on, but we will see you next time, and we'll look forward to that very much. Thank you so much. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many countries that start with the same letter as their capital city. Richard.
Yeah, this one is going to take some thinking time from everybody, please. We're looking for any country of the world that starts with the same letter as the capital city of that country. As always, by country, we mean a sovereign state that's a member of the UN in its own right.
Thank you, Richard. Now, Mike.
OK, have a little think of that. I think I'll go for Sweden and Stockholm.
Sweden. Good. Sweden. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Sweden.
I mean, that is some pretty quick thinking, I would say, on podium 1. Very well done. If I were one of the parents at your school, I would be thinking my kids are absolutely going to thrive in this institution. With a head teacher with that sort of speed of thought and geographical knowledge and calmness under pressure, which is what you're looking for in a head teacher.
Yeah, definitely.
I would say.
Definitely. If I were a sports teacher at that school, I'd be thinking, what? That's what I'm up against.
Yeah, I will say his first name, but that's all I'm going to say. OK, his first name is, and tell me if I'm right, because I think his first name is Mr.
Uncanny.
Thank you.
There we are. He's very good at that. Isabel.
I really don't know how to play this round because I don't
I'm going to say, well.
Yeah. I don't think Tom's very good at this.
You think he hasn't got many more in him?
I think I'm just gonna play it safe and say Belgium, Brussels.
Belgium. Belgium. OK, let's see how many of our 100 people said Belgium. It's right. 30.
Yeah, it's home to the only sourdough library in the world, the Centre for Bread Flavour. It has 84 different strains of sourdough.
Just culture, strains of sourdough culture. Wow.
That'd be worth a visit.
That's great. I'm glad somewhere has.
And also, if it catches fire, toast. So that's nice.
Nice. Thank you very much indeed. OK, now, Michael.
I will go with Andorra la Vella.
Andorra, says Michael. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Andorra. Down it goes. Look at that. This is more like it. Well done, Michael. That scores you 8.
And I would say that's the answer of a very, very impressive travel consultant as well. Well done, yeah. Andorra la Vella is the capital of Andorra.
Thank you very much indeed. We're halfway through the round. Let's have a look at those scores. 8, the best score of the past. Well done. Michael and Scott, superb. 25 is where we find Mike and Bob. 30 is where we find Isabel and Tom. Tom, I hope you outrank your billing. That's all I can say. We want a nice low score from you. Good luck with that. We're going to come back down the line with the second players. Please step up to the podium. Scott, remember, we're looking for any country whose name starts with the same letter as its capital city.
I was going to say Mexico. Mexico City.
Mexico, says Scott. OK, here is your red line. Let's see how far down the column we get with Mexico. It's right. Not bad. 29. 37 is your total.
Yeah, and clever answer as well. It's a huge city, but it's in one of the seismically most active places on Earth. The fault lines, there are all sorts of volcanoes, earthquakes, sort of centre on Mexico City, or the area around it.
Thank you very much, Richard. Tom, now, look, you're on 30. We need a score of 6 or less from you.
It's unlikely. The only thing I can think of, and I'm not even sure if it's factually correct, Brazil and Brasilia?
Brazil and Brasilia. It's got the biggest murmur of the round, so let's see. Here's your red line. How many of our 100 people said Brazil? That's right. There we are. 37 takes your total up to 67.
Yeah, again, Mexico City, Brazil, Brasilia. Although a lot of people don't realise that Brasilia is the capital of Brazil.
No, they don't.
Because there's other big cities in Brazil which are not the capital.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Now, Bob, you're on 25. We need a score of 41 or less from you.
Right. Luxembourg. Luxembourg City.
Luxembourg. OK, here is your red line. Let's see what happens when we say Luxembourg. Luxembourg is right. Through you go, Bob. Down again to 25. Very well done. Exactly the same lovely low score as Mike takes your total up to 50.
Yeah, very well played. Well played, everyone there. No 100-pointers at all. Very impressive stuff. Now, there's 4 pointless answers. Very well done if you said any of these. You have got the Marshall Islands, capital of that is Majuro. Mozambique, capital there is Maputo. Sao Tome and Principe, Sao Tome is the capital there. And one of the capitals of Sri Lanka is Sri Jayawardenepura Kota. So very well done if you said that. But the top 3, we've seen a couple of these already. Mexico, 29. Belgium, 30. And right at the top, Brazil, 37. So we saw all 3 top answers. We, in fact, saw the top 5 answers because Luxembourg and Sweden both scored 25 and they were tied 4th.
Thank you very much, Richard. So we find ourselves at the end of the second round. We have to say goodbye to one of our pairs, Tom and Isabel. Nothing wrong with either of your answers in this round. You just happen to be the high scorers. So we say goodbye for now, but we'll see you again next time. Look forward to that very much. Meantime, thanks so much, Tom and Isabel.
Thank you.